Hey, hi there. So this is the animation that we are working on today. It's a pretty simple kind of a setup for creating this bridge which gets broken as soon as this monster uh, jumps on it. And as you can see, I have divided this bridge in two parts. The first one where we will be standing, and this is a part of my upcoming VR video, which is like the video for a VR headset. And I have first animated this bridge using an armature, and at some point we break it into pieces using rigid body simulation. So in this tutorial we will go through how I have achieved this effect. And let me tell you first that this is not actually a well planned tutorial, rather it's a live walkthrough process of how I work with this kind of setups. So wherever you feel like skipping ahead, you can just skip ahead if you know how to do those parts. But I have faced many problems while working on this simulation. So if you go through all the process, I think you will be way better equipped with how to solve those issues. So yeah, let's get started with the animation and simulation as well. Okay, so I have broken this bridge into two pieces. This is actually it's four. This is one, two, and then this is three, four. So I want to break the bridge from here. What I'll do is I'll just go here. Actually, yeah, we can go here. I'll go at the bottom. Select both the edges and then bring the 3D cursor in the center. Now shift A to get an armature here. So let's do it this way. Change view to random. And now in the edit mode, what I'll do is I'll rotate the bone on the y-axis by 90 degree. Let's bring the cursor at the bottom. Let's rotate it using 3D cursor on the y-axis by -90, just to point it on the right direction. So from here, all I have to do is just extrude it. Or even what you can do is just extrude it once up till here, I guess. No, till here, and then let's see if I can subdivide this a bunch of time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think this will do. Yeah. Let's scale it a bit more so that it aligns with this H, and should I subdivide them once more? I think this is too much. Let's stick to this. Now what I'll do is I'll just parent both of these objects to this skeleton by pressing Ctrl and P and with automatic weights. So one more thing that we can do is we can test if it is working. So let's set this to median point, rotate on Y. Yep, it is working. And similarly, what I'll do is I'll go back. Let's do the similar thing here. Let's bring another armature. Into the play, sorry, not lattice, armature. Let's set this to 3D cursor and rotate the armature on Y by 90. And I think I'll have to move it closer to the edge, somewhere here. So probably I'll get another one there. So this is good. It's similarly, let's pull it up until the edge and then subdivide this into a few pieces. Probably this will do. Here I'll do one more thing, which is adding specific bones for these four wooden planks, or whatever they are called. So let's go here, Alt H, let's bring the cursor, select the armature again and Shift A to bring another bone. Now I'll stretch it until it reaches, I'll have to do one more thing. So because I'm going to add a damp tract on this, so what I'll do is instead of just excluding this, I'll use this bone as a base, and then attached to it there will be a damp tract bone, or maybe not damp tract. I'll just animate this. Now Control L, Shift D, and duplicate this on Z axis to match it with the bottom plank. And now select both of them, Control L to select all the bones, Shift D, and move it on the Y axis up till here. Right, perfect. Now let's parent this bridge to this armature. For that, what I'll do is I'll first select this, and I think I can exclude this now. Let's separate the bottom and the top planks by going to edit mode. Just for the better parenting, I have separated these two objects. So now let's parent them. Go to Control P, Control Pose, and select all. Remove these four, this as well, and this as well, and then Control P with automatic weights. Okay. And another thing that I'll need to do is I'll have to extrude these four bones even further. Extrude and then extrude them till here. So I'll select these bones and these objects, and let's go back to the armature, pose mode, and this time only select this 4 bones and Control P and set this to again automatic weights for one or more bones. Alright, then what if I go and do bone? Let's see what happens now when we move this into pose mode. Okay, this isn't working. This is working pretty well. No, this is not. So what I'll do is I'll just select everything once again. Go back to the rig, pose mode, select everything, Control P, and with automatic weights. It is failing for maybe one or more bones. So what we can do in that sense? Now what I need to do is I need to remove all the influence of this bottom planks from these 4 bones. So let's go to the first let's name these bones. I'm just removing the influence of these bones. Let's do the same thing here as well, and here. Alright, and let's remove the influence on these bars of this bottom length of bones. Let's go to weight paint it once again, select this bone. Then I should hide these ones first. Hide them. So what I'm doing right now is I have remove the weight, I have set it to 0, and I'm using this gradient tool. I'm selecting the bone, and now this bone does influence this side wooden planks, and you can understand it by noticing the warmth in the color. Just remove that. Just press left key and then remove it. So now if I go back to object mode and then go back to pose mode, if you will see, if I move this, it does not affect this upper hand wooden planks completely. And one more thing, let's remove this and see. Yeah, I think this will do. I'll also need to remove this influence from here. Let's go to wet paint mode. Let's remove the influence from all 4 of these bones. Okay, so let's animate this first. It's a pretty simple animation, so I'll do it manually. And the way to do is go to pose mode, select all the bones. Let's add a position to it. Let's turn on auto keyframes. Now let's select this middle row of bones till here and set the transition pivot point to individual origins, so that way we can actually rotate all of this at once. So to do that, just press on R. Do this. Similarly, the same thing needs to be done with the other 4 bones. So I'll first animate these 4. When it comes down, let's view it from the perspective view, like from the camera view. Let's see what happens. Let's increase the field of view. Okay, it cannot go through this round surface, so let's work on that. Okay, just that thing. Just need to keep this above ground. Go back to the pose mode and go to the exact point when it is going through. Here, so add this and remove this one. What's wrong with this? It's not weight painted properly. Let's go back to weight painting. Let's look at the animation yet once again. Yeah, it's working fine. So after this, when she stands up, I need it to be exactly accurate. Now she is not going through it. This is acceptable. Okay. This is not acceptable. But where is the camera pointing at this point? So I think that's fine. Because we anyway won't be able to see this. And now the fun part, the kind of automation. So what I'm gonna do now is let's go to this one and select. I don't exactly remember, but see, no, there is a way to add Control Shift I, probably Control Shift C. Yes, Control Shift C and add a damp track, but not this way. So what I'll do is I'll select both of this one, and then press Control Shift C to add a damp track. Okay, so this first, the last one, and the second last, and then Control Shift C damp track. Okay, what is the damp track value? Influence is 1, so we'll change the influence later on. Again, select this Control Shift C damp track, Shift C damp track. Let's do that to the all the bones. Shift C I. And I'll use this. Okay, and I'll use this bone to animate the whole chain. So I won't add any damp track to this one. And how many bones we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's start with the influence of, I think 7 will be enough. 0.7. Let's add it to 0.7. Then again 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, and let's do again 0.3, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1. Can you see this tail effect? This is what I was looking for. I just hope that when I press play, there won't be any changes unless and until I move this bone. Yeah. So now when he slams into this, here, so let's go back to a few frames to the point right before he slams. Add all channels. So let's add a keyframe here. Alright, let's add it manually. And then as soon as he slams, I want the bridge not to go down but to go up. So let's rotate it on y-axis, something like that. So what happens? Okay, there's some issue, I think. Should be 1 0 0 0. Remove this. Let's give it some time to settle. On Y. I think we can add some more time track value to this. So instead of 0.1, let's make it 0.3, 0.3, and 0.3, and then this is already 0.3. So let's resettle this. Okay, let's play the animation. This is not helping in any sense. Which one? This one. Remove it. Now, I just don't want it to go up, but I also want it to keep going up and down. So let's add some more variation here, then down, just to send a shockwave of kind of a thing, then again up, and then down. So let's see what we get now. I'll start the rigid body sim here, and two more things that I'll do is adding a rotation on X axis, something like this to this one, and let's add let's go here. Like that. So what do we get now is this. Jump, fall on the bridge, and then yeah, perfect. Missed the shot, and then now it falls here. The bridge is going to shatter like anything now. Let's do it this way. Let's select it all. Let's select the armature and export the whole length of animation. So let's go to File, Export, FBX, Let's keep it auto. Mesh and armature. Remove this. Add key all, and simplicity should be simplify should be 0. Bridge animation. Let's call this bridge animation. Export. Cool, so the animation has been exported. Now what I'll do is I'll create a new Blender file to check this animation if it's working or not. What is this? Oh, okay, so let's import the fx file. It is bridge animation. Let's see how it works. Set this to 30 and the end should be 8090. The bridge is here. So even if I delete this, okay, so I hope there are no constraints. Obviously there are no constraints. Yes, this is the thing that I wanted. Now what I'll do is I'll just bake this from go to object, animation, bake action, visual gain parenting from 6000 to 61550. Let's bake it. It's done. So if I delete this, what do we have? Okay, there is no animation at all. Anyway, so what we'll do now is I'll go back to the time when I wasn't picking this, and then let's go to 6550 and let's export this as a static file. So to do that, just I'll select this, select everything, select the rig at the last, export fbx mesh, no animation, apply transformation maybe. Let's export this bridge animation, frozen. Let's export this, hide everything, and now import the freshly exported file, which is bridge frozen. Yeah, this is what I wanted. So now what we are going to do is we are going to break this in smaller parts, and I'll just get a few elements from here, which is this ground and this ground. I think and this as well. So let's copy this. Let's get this here, and I want to give it a rigid body simulation, but the simulation should start. Okay, wait. So let's do one thing. Let's merge this all together. Control J. I hope the texture works though. If we go to this, Yeah, the texture is working, so no problem with that. I'll just rename this old planks, that is fine. And then this should be, what is this? Select pillars and then side pillars, and the same thing with this, the old ribbon that we have. It is, I think, if I select the armature and go under it, let's select all the objects, select what, frozen bridge, animated bridge, and so let's add some textures here. This pillar is a simple texture which is okay. This is the one. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working. Why so? Isn't it UV unwrapped? Okay. Let's go to this and this. Use Smart UV project. I think it will do. What if I add the same material as pillars? Does it work? Okay, what I'll do is I'll just select everything. Use Smart UV project. No, it's not working. Let's remove that. Instead of pillars, let's keep it side pillars. And what is this material? Wood planks. This is the one. It's not gonna work. Absolutely not. It was working before. So how is this working in this file and not in this one? Go to material. You see, this material seems to be working. this one. Let's try one thing. So do Control Shift. Let's do Control Shift T and let's use this material. But now let's change its value. So let's set it to 5. Yep, worked. Similar thing with this. Go to this, select this material, use Smart UV project, and instead of this set it to side pillars. This should be pillars, and this is old plank. Bridge breaking. So now we have matched the textures. Now the only thing that remains is making the rigid body simulation. And to do that, all we have to do is so at this point the main breach hides itself, and this one, which is animated breach, let's hide the armature frozen breach. This should be blasted into pieces. So let's break it first. Let's add this to broken breach, and then let's go to object, quick effect, let's turn on cell fracture, object, quick effect, cell fracture. Let's make the X value be 5, or let's reduce this to 0.2 and 0.2. This can be 200, or let's say 100. Material slots 2. Noise can be 1. Perfect. Let's break. I don't think it did a good job, so let's delete this. Let's break it yet again. Let's change these values to 1 and 1, and this to 200. No. Let's check the orientation first. I think the orientation is fine. No problem with that. Object. Temperature. Set recursion to 2. Let's break this again. Let's put this into broken bridge. Let's remove these elements. And let's also delete the whole main bridge. So now these are all small separate items. You can see it this way. And now we need to add rigid body to this. So this select of this whole group needs rigid body now. Let's add it first to the ground. It already has a passive rigid body. This also needs a passive rigid body. Let's select one of these broken bridges. Let's go to rigid body, active, won't say animated, deforms, not really. The main thing is it should be deactivation should be turned on, so it will only react when there is some external force that gets applied to this. So now that we have this, let's try it once without deactivation. Let's go to frame 0 and see what happens. Yeah, it just starts falling down. So we don't want that. So that's why we will set it to deactivation. Alright, and now let's copy this rigid body simulation to all the other elements. So let's select everything, select objects, select the first one with rigid body, and let's go to objects, rigid body, copy from active, keep everything selected, go again to rigid body and to calculate mass, and let's look for timber. Yep, that will do. Now all of this have a rigid body. The only thing that we need now is a push that will scatter this bridge, and for that what I'll do is I'll create another object, shift A. Let's start with a cube, let's put it down, let's extrude it roughly to match the shape of the bridge. Something like this. We'll also do okay, so this is the rough stick that I have made, which is gonna work as a force that destroys this bridge. And to do that, we need to start the destruction at 6550. So this is where the destruction should exactly begin. So at this point I'll make it, I'll place this here. Just rotate it a bit. All right. Let's add a keyframe to this, and nothing should happen on the frame before this. So move it slightly here. So what now happens is, as I play this, you can see boom, boom, yeah, just like that. Now all we got to do is add a rigid body simulation to this. So rigid body active. No, this is, oh okay, this is active, but this is animated. The mesh can be convex hull, and surface, everything is fine. Okay, it's time to do a trial, but it won't work like that because I'll have to bake this whole thing. It's okay, this has it. This doesn't have rigid body applied to it, but it is not needed also. Let's add rigid body to this as well. So what I'll do quickly is I'll separate this part because I don't want this to interact with the rigid body simulation. So let's select this, remove this. Okay, I'll have to select the whole thing. Let's plus, let's minus. And separate it via selection. So this won't have rigid body, but this should have it. Rigid body, and then passive. Perfect. And now what we got to do is we just need to bake the simulation. Let's go here under the scene properties. Let's go to rigid body, and it's cache should be 0 to 8. Where is our animation ending? So from here I can keep it till 7200, I guess. Let's see what we are doing on that frame. Timeline. So we turn at 7100. So we can animate this till 7200 frames. Let's go here and add that number, 7200, and simulation start could be, let's say 6500 probably. I'm not sure if it will work, but we should try it. Let's go here and let's save bake. I have less expectations from this. Okay, it has worked. But it started even before I could do anything. Why so? This isn't starting at the point where I want it to start. It's a bit of a bigger explosion, I would say. What if I make all this fall towards the character That will look super good. Let's set this to mesh and do another trial. And this time what I'll do is let's create something. Let's create a UV sphere. Let's make it big, just like that. Let's rotate it on Y. Let's scale it on Z. What I want to do is I just want this all the explosion to come towards the character. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll just remove one stripe, this as well, and then with smooth selection I'll rotate this just to make sure everything falls onto us. Let's select these edges and scale it down a bit and make this thing bigger, but this shouldn't be like that. Hopefully it will do. Let's add a solidify module modifier to this, apply it and make this also a passive rigid body, and set this to mesh instead. Surface and sensitivity should be 0.04. Let's save this all and let's bake the rigid body simulation once again. Delete, bake and bake. It's time to reveal. What? There was nothing to break it. It's starting right away. This is not what we want. I hope the animated bridge doesn't have any rigid body to it. No, it doesn't have a rigid body. So there is something that is not working right. So just to make sure, I'll select all the objects, not this one, and F3, remove rigid body. So this doesn't have anything now. Let's remove this cube from here. Let's go to the rigid. Let's go to the first object, active, animated. Let's make it mesh. Let's set it to 0.01. Now I understand. The thing is, this doesn't have any base under it. Which it needs to have. So instead what I'll do now is I should start the simulation right at the frame where this starts, like this hits the animation. So what we can do is you can start the baking at 654949, and now what I need to do is let's go back before I removed all the rigid body. So now everything has its own rigid body. All that I have to do is just start the bake at 6549. Let's bake. Let's try the simulation. Let's hide this. No, I wasn't expecting that. It shouldn't happen this way. I do want the elements to fall towards us, but I don't want them to just stick there. So let's select as the sphere. I need the sphere, it should be out here. And what we can do is we can just delete these faces. So everything from here should be deleted. And there shouldn't be any area which can hold onto the planks. So this needs to get bigger and slanted. Grab on X, go a bit downwards. This can be smaller. And this can go smaller. And go down till here. Now let's try this. I think I don't need this part. Let's delete it. Just this thing. Let's test it. So the camera will be here. But nothing is coming towards us, so this isn't what I want. So along with this cube, I'll add another object that pushes the planks towards us. So to do that, I'll just create another plane, rotate it on y by 90, wrap it up, extrude just to make it thicker. It doesn't matter though. Just select the edges, bevel them, select everything, Control N, relook it outside, and now what I'll do is I'll push this towards where we are. So we are going to be shift cursor Z, and this can be towards Y. Just like that, and then let's rotate this, place it here, and let's animate it on the frame. So this should be its idle position. Let's add a keyframe here, and then on the next keyframe or maybe here, it should push everything towards us, just like that. I think it can be a slightly bit slower. Can I place this here? At this point it can be like this. Pushing everything towards where we are. Right, and one more thing, it will be nice to have a depth to this. Let's press I. Push this backwards so it's like a bevel, something like a pan. And then now let's add the same rigid body simulation constraint that we have. Copy from active. Now this also has a rigid body which is animated. And now let's bake this again. Let's see the simulation once again. I think we are almost done with this now. So if I go here where the bridge is going to be, hide this, and replay the animation. to go slower. How can we do that? This is too fast. This is the effect that I'm looking for. Do that. I'll need to reduce the speed of this another cube plane. Most probably is the plane. This one. The speed should be drastically reduced. Yeah, that's all. To scale this. And the second thing, which is this sphere, I need to make it go down. So from here to here it can stay as it is. But from here it should rotate, just to let go of anything that it might be holding on to, like that. And let's remove the rigid body from this, because I want to copy the rigid body from this one. Copy from active. Perfect. Let's rebake everything. Delete back. Okay, time to test it again. I think this will do. Where is it stuck? This cannot stay here. But, let's see it from the view. This is where we are going to be. Yeah. Just this now. Okay, it's stuck inside this. So once this is done, this also needs to go down. Not right away, after probably some time. Just like that. Let's bake everything. What is this stuck inside now? Just delete it. And delete this one. Oh, I cannot delete them. I think it might be stuck inside the sphere, because apart from this there is no other element. I hope this has a rigid body though. Yeah, it does have a rigid body. Now what I should do is, once this is done, I think it is not moving at all. Let's hide it. This point, let's get this down. No, test it once again. This is the one that is giving me the most problem. Where is it? I'll just delete you and rebake everything. Bake. Okay, now it has worked properly this time. Where are we going to be? Here. Looking up in that direction. This is what we'll see. Let's hide this. This isn't right. It cannot stay at one place for that long. So let's remove its two identical keyframes, which are this. So let's remove this and hope for the best. Delete bake. Okay, I think I'll have to rebake everything. Now it is already baked. I need to do that. The bake need to start from is 6549 to 7200. Let's select all the objects. Select objects. Go to F3. Bake to keyframes from 6549 to 7200. Okay, so everything is now baked, but I'll not just stay at that. Now that all the constraints have been removed, I'll press F3 again and do remove rigid body. So now if you see, all the rigid body should be removed from everything. but it nevertheless works the same. Let's go back, select everything, go back to object, and again animation, bake action, and now this time I'll bake it from frame 1 to 8090. Complete animation. Perfect. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna export everything. So let's select it and export the animation. Export as FBX, selected only, visible only, copy. So this is for textures, only copy mesh, animation, yes, no simplification. So now this time what I'll call it is to render to UE5 bridge breaking rigid body. It's okay, and now let's select the animated bridge and go to the frame which is 6550. Let's be at 6550. This is the frame where the animation should end. Now what I'm going to do is let's go to the armature. Sorry, let's go to pose mode, and from here I'll remove all these keyframes because I want the animation to stay in this frame only. Perfect. Let's select this, select the armature, and now export this as well. So I'll just do one thing. You go to the frame which is 8090 towards the last, and let's go to the pose mode, and let's copy this frame, CV. Perfect. Select it all, select the rig, go to file, export, FBX, everything, keep everything as it is, armature and mesh. Now let's save this to bridge animation, export. And one more thing that I got to do is select this, select this, select this as well. So if I hide this, there shouldn't be anything, but we got to select this as well. So hide, unhide. Okay, now export this animation as well. Let's export it as FBX, keep all the settings as they are, and now let's go to bridge animation, other half. Let's import that other bridge in here as well. Let's go import FBX, the other half. Perfect. Now all I have to do is change the texture on this. But what if I join everything together? Will it still work? Yes, it does. The materials that I need is old planks, should be old planks. Let's see in material preview if the material works. Unfortunately, the old planks is not working just the right way. So I'll select old planks and unwrap them. This is not particularly working. It worked here though. Maybe there is some issue with. But let's keep it separate. It doesn't matter, especially in this case. So let's add the old planks. There seems to be some kind of a problem with the texture. Fixed. Let's go back to layout, and now I also have to change this. So this is old planks, side pillars. If I say side pillars, yep, works perfectly. And then one more thing, which is material should be pillars. Alright, now with that, export this animation as well. So where's the armature for this? This one. Select the object, select the armature, and export the whole animation. Fix the other half. Now let's import everything to Unreal. Let's first import the bridge animated from here. Okay, I'll need to set up these materials. We'll do that. Let's go to the place where it should be. Let's change the field of view, something like that. This is the location of the bridge. Let's delete this block. Skeletal mesh, location be 0. Save everything. Let's again go to the bridge, the other half. Clear. Import. Skeletal mesh, set to 0. Save it as well. Now let's import the rigid body. Bridge rigid body. Make sure no skeleton is selected. Clear everything. Import. Okay. Save it all. Body skeleton mesh to set it to should be 0. So now it's all about the sequencer. I hope the animation works with 60 fps. So let's go to bridge animation and add the animation. Let's go towards the end. Okay, perfect, I guess. Let's import this as well. Go to frame 0, animation. And lastly, the rigid body simulation. Bring in the animation for that as well. And now what we need to do is go to frame I'll have to play this. At which frame is it starting here? So I think let's go to this, not this one, this one. So under the rigid body we have the animation is starting at 6549, which if we multiply by 2, because the animation in Unreal is at 60 fps, so 49 into 2, 13098 is the frame when the animation starts. .098. So at this frame, what we need to do is we need to go to the bridge animation under the transform and add a keyframe, and along with that I also need to add a keyframe to rigid body sim. Add a keyframe here. Now let's go one frame back, add a keyframe to rigid body, but this time reduce the scale to 0. Let's add a keyframe of 0, 0, 0. So nothing is visible and suddenly it will be visible. And now for the animation, let's just add a scale. Let's go to the next frame and the scale should be set to 0. But I think there has to be at least one frame when both the meshes are visible. So I'll change the rigid body visibility to one frame, like I'll slide it one frame behind. Where is it? Here. So instead of starting it so now what we have is this. Alright, let's go one frame back and and set this to 1. And this frame can be 0, 0, 0. Now I think let's set it to 0. So now what we have is this. Now just need to set up the texture. To do that, let's go here. I'll bring in all the texture files. So first do the old planks. And let's bring in the texture. So I need base, metalness, normal, and roughness. Let's bridge. And I'll bring in specular as well. So let's slide this here. I'll remove everything. Let's bring in specular. Now let's attach everything. So base color goes to base color, specular goes to specular. This is roughness, roughness into roughness, metallic and normal. Alright, so we have one texture now. The next is pillars. For pillars I'll remove all this texture. On this one, let's go in here and let's bring in the texture that we have downloaded from Ambient CG. Let's go to material, wood, and color, normal DX, and roughness. Let's bring it in. Let's place this inside material, save everything first, and then let's join the base color, roughness, and normal. I think specular can be, what if I set it to 0? No. 1? No, let's set it to 0.5. Metallic should be 0. This is alright. And lastly, what I need is, what is the material that I have used for the side pillars? I think I have used the same material as the old planks. Let's check it first. So if I go to shader editor, if I go in here, let's copy the location, and in Unreal let's go to import, let's give it the location. Is it the same thing, 35? Yeah, it's the same texture, just the texture coordinates are different. So in this case, what I'll do is, instead of it still doesn't, okay, let's bring in the texture first. This 3, this goes in base color, this goes in the roughness, and the normal in normal. And I need a texture coordinate, so let's see texture coordinate. So attach it to all the UVs simply, and then let's copy the same value which is here, which is 5. So let's set this to 5 by 5. Save this. Yeah, perfect. Now let's view the animation. So let's go to camera left, we miss the shot and then this happens. Cool, I think it's looking pretty good. So if I show you the start, you can see so you eat a mushroom and then suddenly the monster comes out of the ground and then it starts chasing you. So that's the start of the video, and similarly now the next task is to finish all the animation of this monster. I already have the U asset which I'll use for animating it. Now it moves, so we get to know that it's still alive and then we start running. Amazing, it's gonna be fun to watch in VR. Cool. So thank you for tuning in. I hope there was some insightful things that I've done in this video which will help you solve your problems. And let me know if you have any questions, any doubts which I might be able to help you with in the comments. And see you in the next tutorial. Have a nice day. Bye.